And we're live. Hey, welcome to another episode of Easy Sports. And today I'm joined by Sihle N. How's it, Njayam?
Oh, I know. It's going. It's
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
going. How are things your side?
I know things are cool. I just want to throw in a disclaimer. I see, yeah, there's a Liverpool,
I
emblem.
was about to
I'm at
ask.
home. I'm at home. I'm at my dad's house. He's a Liverpool spectator. I'm not a Liverpool spectator.
How's he feeling? How's the tension? Champions League is.
Nah, he has what I can high expectations, and so with him it's trophy or nothing. He doesn't really go with this top four nonsense. To him, it's nonsense. This thing that playing for
But I
top
think
four.
I think no. I think so. If you yeah, no. I hear where he's coming from. Where in
Yeah,
Liverpool in the last like 5 6 years, they or 6 seasons, they've had a good running. So they should be challenging for top honors, and I think it went belly up this season. Um, and if you take the whole season into context, where they
yeah,
are right now, it's I'm not gonna lie, it's an interesting position to be in, and I think
yeah.
the top four is looking hella. The top four fight that is looking hella interesting.
Yeah, man. Like, for too, it's we just need to grind out the results, man. Like on Saturday we grinded out the results. We know one
Did you
nil.
watch? Did you watch the Saturday game?
Yeah, no, I did. I first started by watching Pirates Ganane because Pirates kicked off at 3 and United kicked off at 4. So first half done and dusted with Pirates because we were leading 3-0. Then I transitioned to Premier League and yeah, for me, of course, from a performance standpoint, it was a bad performance. But like I
The three
said,
points matter.
that
We at
right
the
now it's just us collecting 3 points. Yeah,
yeah we at that time of the season where
yeah.
nothing else matters but grinding out the 3 points.
100% of it. Hundred
Because
percent.
if you look at my team, my guy, my team is a 3 point machine. We just give away 3 points. We're like Oprah Winfrey. It's
Yeah,
like you get 3 points, you get 3 points,
yeah,
you get 3 points. Like Pepe's Joanna. But anyway, we'll get to Chelsea. Let's talk about
yeah,
something else. I don't want to vent so early in the cast.
yeah. I just wanted us to, of course, first discuss the standards, man. Like okay, throughout the day, I was just thinking about the gap between Man City and the rest of us. Because a lot of people are saying that the Premier League is now a farmers' league,
Nah,
but
fuck that.
in my opinion, I just think that as in our clubs in particular, we need to step it up because for me, I can't accept City running away with the league like this every single season. So I mean, I was just a bit disgruntled at how we've allowed City, not just only United, but everyone
No.
in the league has allowed this to go on for the longest time. It's only Liverpool who's been trying, at least. They've been trying. The rest of us, in the last 5 seasons, Sihle, we haven't been trying. We've just been pathetic, to say the least.
I've got a
So,
different view. I've got a
yeah,
different view to that. Okay, hear me
yeah,
out. I think managerially, there's a lot of imposters that come into the Premier League and they walk a big walk.
yeah,
Sorry, they talk a big talk, but they can't walk that talk. And
yeah,
the difference between Pep and the other managers, Pep is the real deal.
yeah.
It's
No, it
very
is.
easy
Yeah,
it,
sorry.
it's very easy to say, what you know, but UPEP requires billions and billions, and I can tell you quite a few teams that have spent billions that are nowhere near where Man
Yeah,
City is.
yeah, no, true. But the thing is that goes down to planning. It comes down to perfect and organized planning. Why aren't the rest of us planning the way City are planning? You know what I mean?
So
Why aren't our clubs in order at the top the way City are in order at the top now corner? you know.
It's the old tale of and I'm going to use the Arsenal because the Arsenal is a
Yeah.
bunch of losers. They're a bunch of losers. No, they are. Like literally, I'm saying it now. Arsenal,
Yeah.
you're a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
Welcome. Okay.
I've just stated a
Sure,
fact,
gents.
okay,
Sure,
and
gents. Sorry I'm late.
I'm wanting you to back me up on this. Arsenal is a bunch of losers.
About Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yo, can you hear us?
Ah,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I think
yeah,
sometimes yeah, I can hear you guys.
yeah, let me back it up with what why did I say Arsenal is a bunch of losers. Arsenal have an exciting young squad, and in them having an exciting young squad, the expectation wasn't that high. But you do not hype us up for like how many days were they in the top? Were they the log leaders? Was 200 odd days. You don't
Yeah,
lead us
90.
up, and then
Yeah.
everyone is saying, "Wuti, you're gonna fall off. You're gonna fall off," and you make us believe that you won't fall off. And when you fall off, your fall off is dramatic. Daughter, I was looking at this weird stat. Wuti, Arsenal lost the league in 3 matches.
Listen
And
to
it,
that,
us, and now City wins the league with games in hand.
dude. Hey, Onke, can you please background ish your background music? There's a background sound there by you. Is
Is
it
there?
possible? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's like you're watching in. Are you watching sports or something? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
it's just so.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's all good.
Arsenal, I firmly believe Arsenal is a bunch of losers. And everyone says City won the EPL. City didn't. City just placed themselves in a position where they were. Oh, okay, cool. The last 4 games or last 5 games, sure, fine, thank you, we'll take it. And now Pep, in as much as he's excited, the big prize that he's looking at right now is that one Champions League match.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, indeed. Yeah, because we can still hear your background. Kalizicha manje.
There's no way.
Can you hear Kizicha? Can see
Yeah,
loud and clear.
yeah, Sichoni knows
The thing is,
reduction.
Are you using?
ikuphi naleyo noise reduction?
Hey, I'm not too sure, David. Where is it? Hey, on StreamYard, I'm not too
Yeah,
sure where it is.
nah, that's
Is that better?
Yeah, no, it's a bit
it's
better,
fine.
but yeah, it's fine. But you can talk on. Yeah, let's hear your view on Arsenal being at the top for 93% of the season, only for them to. Oh, all right. Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
coming back. No,
yeah,
so
yeah,
anyway, and Arsenal, they can't tell me what next season it looks better. Yeah, next season, a lot of the giants, the sleeping giants, will have
yeah.
awoken. Liverpool would have sorted themselves out. And we can see Liverpool is undefeated in the last 5 games.
Hmm.
Okay. And if they get that Brighton boy, that Argentinian Brighton boy, what's his name?
Yeah,
McAllister.
McAllister. Yeah,
If they get McAllister, it addresses a couple of the issues that they have, but they would have sorted themselves out. In Chelsea, and I don't know whether I'm being a hopeful fan, but if Chelsea get Pochettino in, Pochettino gets them going, and that's a sleeping giant that's awoken.
yeah.
Spurs because I don't know what's going on there. There's no
Nah,
manager they've been linked to. I
but
want to laugh.
Spurs have
Shady as
never been a giant, bro.
well, in the past,
Um,
no. Let's be let us khulume kahle ndoda.
Yo,
Spurs did push.
they've never been a giant.
They've got a giant stadium.
Yeah, that's the only thing that they have that's giant, but they've never. Yeah, but okay, yeah, we wanted to hear your viewpoint on Arsenal's
Heroic.
heroics.
so my thing is, ne, nothing shocks me when it comes to Arsenal. I think that there are things we talk about sometimes, things like football heritage. There are things that are part of a club's legacy, and Arsenal has done this a few times before. You know, it wasn't shocking. A lot of people actually called it, Uguti, these guys are not going to make it all the way. I have this saying that I like to say in my soccer group, especially. The most important games in the season are played in May. Everything you do throughout the season is in preparation for those games in May. What the culture Pep has created in his team is that everything is they are working towards being at their very best, and this means every single member of the squad at their very best, at their fittest, at their best tactically, at the most peak of their powers by the end of May. That is why they can go on these long winning streaks towards the end of the season to ensure that they can see the season through. Usually they don't stumble. Like City hardly stumbles through to like April, May, they never stumble. They're on winning streaks most of the seasons throughout that time. Arsenal doesn't have that experience, first of all. And then secondly, they overplayed themselves this season. They don't have the depth. So they never were going to have the legs to carry them towards the level of intensity you need to have to win and play these games. And the other thing is, I just think it was necessary for them to learn, just half challenge, learn, and be better. Had Arsenal actually pulled it through, it was going to be extremely fluky, very, very fluky. And they were not going to be able to live up to those expectations. Now, if Arsenal finishes fourth next season, no one is going to care. If they finish fifth next season, no one is going to care because they didn't win. So it's a great laugh.
They peaked too early in a marathon.
Yes, yes. They started to sprint basically, when everyone else was still gaining momentum. I was even making this example. I said in January, and I think both Chelsea and Liverpool were next to each other at the time. I said there are so many games to play. Arsenal was like 8 points clear at the time. I said there are so many games to play. The league is extremely young at this point. When you start to judge the league and how it's shaping, you start to judge around April, towards the end of April and towards May. And then you look at form at that point. And if you look at Arsenal from that point onwards, and I think April is when I started doing the podcast with you guys, and I pointed out from the Bournemouth game that there was a lot of cracks in the way Arsenal plays. Teams are actually starting to figure out that these guys press extremely aggressive and they use their midfielders as part of their press. So they leave a huge gap behind. So there's a huge space you can exploit between the midfield and the defense, and you can make the defense run because they don't play a high line like other teams that press. They don't play that normal high line that you find from City or Liverpool. And you look at Nottingham Forest, you look at Brighton, that is exactly what they attacked. They attacked the space they leave between the midfield and the attack. Mitoma, I was laughing last week now because I kept saying to myself, why is this guy playing Enciso on the side, up and White? Yes, Enciso is skillful, but they need to make Ben White run. Ben White can't run. The moment he changed Mitoma to the left, the game was gone. The game was gone completely from that point onwards. And that was in the second half. 3 goals were scored, win for Brighton. And Arsenal is becoming that predictable. It's becoming so easy to play against them. So easy to play against them because the style that they play is so high risk that once you find that chink, it's exactly what Pep did. Pep didn't even play his normal highline game when he played against Arsenal. He was like, no, let them press us. We're going to play direct football. We're going to find De Bruyne and Haaland in midfield behind their midfield press, and then we are going to exploit their defense for pace. That's exactly what they did. They destroyed them. So now they're starting to learn. Teams figure you out as the season continues because, like in basketball, the more you play, the more tape teams have on you, the more data teams have on you. So teams can see, oh, this is the structure of their build-up. This is the structure of their press. So where do we attack? Which parts do we attack? And this is why Pep is so flexible, because you never know how he's going to play you, what team he's going to have out there, what tactical setup he's going to use. So throughout the season, coaches are guessing, and you can never beat Pep as far as how he's going to set up his team. Only a few coaches can do that. So Arteta will learn. I don't think it's as bad for Arsenal. It's just funny because they were so confident in themselves. It's extremely funny because they were so confident in themselves. But I think there are some silver linings here and there. You know, they need to now be flexible. They need to they need to offload some people, improve in some areas, put quality. I hear that they're going for Declan Rice. I'm not sure. I hear they're going for who else?
Gundo. Apparently Gundo.
Yeah, apparently Gundo and Cancelo. I heard that Cancelo is also an option. I think they need fullbacks, both sides, not even like left back at pair. No, they need fullbacks on both sides because Tomiyasu is never fit. They have to play Ben White, who's a makeshift, and then you have Tierney, who also has fitness issues. Zinchenko is not really a midfielder. Is not really a winger. He's more of a midfielder. So I would look for a left back and then play Zinchenko in midfield, and see what rotation I can have for Jorginho, and then get rid of Chaka. I don't need Chaka anymore. Then get myself a proper attacking midfielder who can rotate with Odegaard, because he got tired this season. He started on fire. Hey, he was shit these last few games.
Yeah,
he
even
was
Saka
trash.
as well. Not just only
Saka as well.
Yeah.
Legs, I always say legs. You have to protect the team's legs. So they have a lot to learn, but it's good that they didn't win so that they can work on themselves and grow. Because if they fluked it this season, it was just going to be for the record books, but it wasn't really going to be them announcing themselves as a challenge for City.
I think it's going to be a question to both of you. Yabona Champions League is an added dynamics that the bench Arsenal, when I look at it, they do not have the firepower to compete in the Champions League. So in them achieving what they think that they've achieved, in that they pushed City right up until. No, I'm looking at it from an Arsenal point of view, because they think we pushed City. They didn't push City. City just positioned themselves in a position for Arsenal to go right ahead and mess up the bag, and look where they are right now. So I honestly do think it's more than the positions you've mentioned. I think also they need to look at number 4 and number 5. Yabona Saliba, the French boy, brilliant. Saliba. Brilliant as he is, there's starting to be a bit of a dependency on him as a defender. When he doesn't play, the Brazilian looks all over the place.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this about their defense, man. I kind of like Ukivione. I like what he has to offer. He's less of a wild card like Gabriel. I think you're right. They need a 5 to pair with Saliba, but I think Kivio can give them good depth at that position if he partners with a solid centre back and himself. Like a solid centre back for me. In fact, Arsenal needs like an enforcer type of centre back, a player like, who can I think of? Who's that Real Madrid defender?
Which one?
Brazilian.
Militao,
yeah. Like they need that type of player, that risk taker, that one who will sweep properly for them, so that they can play a conventional highline like Ruben Diaz does for his City. That hard man, so that they can play a proper highline, because Gabriel is so error prone, the defense sort of plays off to give themselves opportunities to recover. Whereas they could play even higher up, be part of the possession football that they play, connect with the midfield, and then free Abo Party even more. And that thing that teams use against them now, where they exploit the spaces the midfield leaves, it won't happen. because the defense is going to be right there. As soon as you start your counter attack, the defense is able to counter press with the rest of the team.
So let me give you gents a quick rundown of our defenders at City. So I've pulled them up. The City
Yeah,
defenders. We're just looking at City. Okay.
let's see.
You've got Akanji, you've got
Yeah,
Ake, you've got Cancelo, you've got Ruben Diaz, you've got Laporte, you've got Stones, you've got Uka Walker, and then you've got three other kids that exist there: Abu Gomez,
Rico Lewis.
Rico Lewis, and whatnot. Glamour defenders and whatnot. Can you give me ama defenders at Arsenal where you say, these guys are going to be challenging us? And we're talking defenders. We're not talking attacking players. We're talking defenders. Because the unfortunate thing that a lot of people don't get when it comes to football, there are times or patches in a season where you have to grind out and protect your lead.
Defense wins
Arsenal
titles.
don't seem to, Arsenal don't seem to have that. Ndoda ngizotshela yabona uMourinho Stamford Bridge first time round. uMourinho bekushaya 1-0. Once ukushaya 1-0 ukhohlwa.
Even well,
Like,
that's what he did with Roma, even in the Europa. I mean,
oh yes,
1
I
nil
love
up,
that. I
yeah, and
love
then he
that.
just protect the lead. Yeah,
and
And
Arsenal, sorry, okay. Arsenal don't have that right now. Bona, they do. They want to do rock and roll. Yeah, Liverpool. Okay, sure, we'll outscore you. That's the only way that we're gonna win the game. But in some instances, the unfortunate and it's the dark side of the game where you have to learn to protect your lead.
I was telling some Sundowns fans here weekend.
even them are they also fumble the bag. I yeah,
Hey dog.
hey
I
don't.
was I was telling them Uguti, in the years that I've watched Ancelotti, Mourinho, especially the Italian style coaches, even Conte,
Yeah,
it, I've realized Uguti, sometimes the method ne, of, in fact, style of play,
yeah,
sometimes it should never outweigh the desired result. So you have to change. You have to be willing to change your methods in order to get the result you desire. I have watched City defend for their lives in some games. You understand? For their lives, where they are Bashara a high five like no one's business. They're getting blocks
yeah,
left, right, and center. And that's a Pep team. That's a Pep Guardiola team defending for their lives because the method sometimes needs to change in order for you to get the desired result. And I
yeah,
think it's lost a lot in these coaches that want to play this flair style, this expensive style sometimes of football, that this boring style of football is so outdated, as fans call it today, that you can't protect a lead. You have a lead at you have a 2-1 lead, for example, like Sundowns in the 80th minute, and you are
yeah,
still trying to play with your slow build up from the back, and you are conceding mistakes continuously. The other team is going to punish you eventually, and football is like that sometimes. Ujo the dog went into Leverkusen with one mission. I am protecting my lead. Every single player understood.
yeah. And you see, that's another thing.
28%
And then
possession done.
another thing is, okay, it's just that nowadays I feel like this generation of footballers, the younger cats, they tend to not take instructions, especially like Mourinho is a coach who is known well for finals, especially knockout phases. When you're in the knockout phase, you want Jose Mourinho as your coach if
Yep,
you want to win the
yep.
trophy. So your players also need to buy into your tactics. And nowadays these kids, they think that they know better than the manager. They tend to not follow these instructions because at the end of the day it's all about the W, especially when you're in April and May. When I also look at my club as well, we grounded out a result. We scored one freakish goal by Casemiro, and we managed to get the W. And surprisingly, De Gea has won the what again, the Golden Glove, gents.
Mm,
Yo,
mm.
like it's crazy because I was even surprised as to how did we get like 17 clean sheets, because we won 17 clean sheets considering
Eva,
our goal difference
Eva,
being so
David,
terrible.
Umbonile David this weekend.
Yeah, no. There's
Yes,
he pulled off.
man.
It's your
But
home form.
yeah,
It's your home form.
No, which
yeah,
is why.
United this season, especially when Varane and Martinez were playing, that's when you
yeah,
got most of your clean sheets. You guys were amazing at home. First half of the season, you guys had a run like where you were not conceding goals at home. You were just winning straight
yeah.
out, and he was collecting a lot of points at home. Your away form was the bad one, and that's when you were collecting the big scores when you were playing
Number
away.
7,
You
number
understand? I'm a 7,
4,
yeah,
number
seven up.
6. Yeah, 6 up, 7 We like the
So
76s. 7.
because because I was pointing out to someone who
Yeah,
United has basically not been the best defense in the league this season because
yeah.
Chelsea has considered only one more goal than you guys.
Mm,
Like Chelsea has conceded 42, United has conceded 41. So the Golden Glove is not an indication of how well the defense has actually played.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
know, it's the keeper himself, and that's why he gets the award. It's the keeper
Yeah.
and how well he has played. But if you are conceding as much as Chelsea, hey.
Hey, dude.
But the Arsenal now has also conceded 40 plus. The best defenses in the
Yeah.
league have been Newcastle and City this season,
Yes.
31 and 33, I think. They have been the best defenses in the league this season. So I think there's two ways to look at it. You are still porous, especially when you're playing away from Old Trafford, away from your fan noise. Your defense is all over the place. But at least when you're home, you're able to
Yeah.
keep that clean sheet. Now it's about taking that defensive form to the road and getting Martinez and Varane back fit and all of those things. So next season sizobona, but nani is fair nje ukuthi nje,
Yeah.
Chelsea and Liverpool were dead this season. You
Yeah.
guys could have easily fumbled top four, easily fumbled top
But
four,
you never know. There's 2
So
more games to go, dog. I mean,
nah. Liverpool made it
I
easy for you
done.
guys. Liverpool made
hey,
it easy for you guys. Liverpool was supposed
nah.
to keep winning. If Liverpool kept winning, the pressure was going to pile up on you guys. The Chelsea game would have been an easy fumble.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
It
why
would
I'm
have
gonna
been an
ask.
easy fumble.
Yeah, but you guys need to do us a favor then, and then just give us those 3 points, man. I'm
You
not
need a
gonna
point,
pamper you.
dog.
I
You
promise.
need a
I promise.
point.
Ah, no. For the 3 points, man.
You just need one. Just
I
one.
know. No.
But
Like,
we
just give us
can,
3. I mean, you guys gave
yeah.
City's B team at 3 points up until the 70th minute.
City's
So of
B
course,
team is better than your team.
yeah, I know.
Ooh,
I know. That's a fact.
Now,
any champion,
City's B team
Oh,
way better than
ne,
your
any
team.
champion.
campione,
The champ is here.
ole,
The champ is here.
ole.
Yes, boys.
What's
Yes,
name?
boys.
Yes,
Yes, boys. Yes, boys. I just had to come for the kind of honor. So
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
guys.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you,
Yabona,
guys.
honestly, Yabona, the guard of honor. I do not mind. I do not mind as a Chelsea fan giving you a guard of honor. Then giving Arsenal a guard of honor.
I said it. I said it
Imagine.
Saturday night after the Arsenal game on Twitter. I said it. I
Yeah,
said I can't wait for the God of Honor. I'll be standing and clapping with my team and Sterling when City walks in, when City walks in, because I wouldn't have been able to handle an Arsenal win. And I'm not saying City winning isn't doesn't carry its own narratives. I just think we couldn't allow the naivety of Arsenal to continue throughout the off season. They needed to be humbled, go back to the drawing board and be better. I don't mind them being a good team. I think it works well for the league, if Arsenal is playing around those areas. But you can't just beat City, dog. Liverpool had to fail first, Nabo, before they won.
But
They
yeah,
had to
imagine
lose at the
they
last
failed
hurdle.
with over 90 points in the season.
Hey,
90
dog,
yeah,
points. And Bafele.
it does not matter. No one cares.
yeah,
No one cares.
yeah.
And
So,
what I also wanted to add on KZ for your City, ne, Arsenal are just victims of them winning. City weren't even targeting Arsenal. City was just we need to hit peak form by the time we get into the semi-final stages, quarter-final stages for
Exactly.
Champions League.
It's
What did I
Now,
literally
say?
everything
what
that
I'm
happens,
saying, Chiefs.
everything that happened in between there is Arsenal. Arsenal could have continued and won all their games, and the league still they could have still stood a chance. And we slip up here and there. Pep decides to rest people in a game, and it backfires. But they did it themselves. It's not like we made them lose all the games that they lost and draw.
And when I choose,
They were
had
their
you
own
joined
worst
earlier,
nightmare.
I had you joined earlier, I said City didn't win the league. Arsenal handed the league over to City because
Yeah.
City all they did is just position themselves in a way with okay, fine. When this little fire paraffin runs out, we then
Hmm.
go for the pound, and there was
Yep.
that.
Too
You know
much
that at
pressure.
every
Just too much
point in the
pressure.
game in hand.
Too much pressure, bro. Too much pressure. You know, yeah, when I kumnandi now leader league, like when you're looking at it on paper, but everything that comes with being number one, is that pressure. And if your team is not used to maintaining or dealing with that pressure throughout a constant period, and that's why I always say, ungahambe win the Champions League doesn't mean you're a great coach. Ngahambe ushaya amagame, win amagame ayi-4, 5, game ye-6 uchayise, ufike ku-final, uwine. That doesn't make you a good coach. Being a good coach, winning a league title. There's nothing easy about that. And that's why Abo Spurs, Abo in, you'll never do it for the next 20 years. Sazobuyela emhlolo. So what?
Spurs, I feel sorry for them because
And
even West Ham
sometimes,
is about to win a trophy. I mean, that's what
and,
like West Ham.
Yep.
and sometimes
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
and sometimes teams need the culture itself to in order to support that coach in order to win. I always say winning a league title has a lot. It's about a lot of factors. It's not about the quality of the team you have or its consistency alone. It's the culture you have at the club. That's why Spurs can't win, because Spurs culture is that of a losing team. Same as Arsenal. Arsenal's culture is that of a losing team, because losing teams have moral victories. That's what losing teams do. They have moral victories. They don't
which
care
is
about
which
winning.
is
They care
which is why
about having something to say.
which is why
Winning teams have
Daniel
cultures.
Levy, Daniel Levy really properly effed up Spurs. I wonder when he
yeah.
had Mourinho a week before a cup final, and then one Osha, like that to
Yeah,
me was
yeah.
okay, cool. He doesn't really want this. To him, he'd rather honestly sacrifice the team winning a trophy rather than paying this man his bonus. Because as winning is infectious.
It
Ukuthi,
is.
you get used to the feeling of winning, and you look at Phil Foden. He's 22. The boy has won five. So winning is in him right now.
It's yeah, it's something he's so used to, man. 22 years old and you have 5 Premier League titles, dog. That is wild, bro. Like already he's got the same number of titles as Rooney, because Rooney also has 5, bro. Ferdinand also
That's
has 5.
crazy.
You see what
That's
I'm saying,
crazy.
bro? So for
And
me,
Rooney was in a dynasty himself.
exactly, bro. You know, it's just
Yeah,
it's
but
just
it's
a bit,
testament to how good Pep is, darling.
yeah,
People can speak and say, hey, he's a checkbook manager,
But then
nah,
all that
don't
nonsense.
ignore those
ah,
My
guys.
brother,
Why?
there's many people who have similar budgets, similar checkbooks, who would not
Exactly.
even be able to do anything that
half
any single one of what
half
Pep is
of the
doing with this.
things. No, that's
And
why I was saying. Kuti, there's a lot of
Pep has come
inconstant
here and
managers.
smashed everything. Fetu. I think what decade is there still for him to smash is the treble. And if he smashes the
Yeah,
treble tour,
Well,
what do
yeah.
you then
Why?
say about
he's
this
got
guy?
two years left in his contract.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak about the off the ball, sorry, of the pitch and antics of Man City. I don't want to get into that because it's going to sound like I'm hating on Man City. But Yabona, if you try to put Pep as a manager, I put him right up there as one of the greatest managers that we've ever had.
It's
He's
like,
number one
and
in my
it's crazy. It's like people would be like, why wouldn't he wouldn't be able to go to West Ham and coach them into a thing? And they're like, which great player would ever go to a small team and say, I will make that team a great team?
exactly.
You don't do
I
that. Like
mean,
you realize your value. What value am I gonna add to a team like in West Ham or Everton? I'm not gonna add any value to that team. You wanna take great teams who look like they can get to that point and destroy teams like Real Madrid. Sikhathele mfethu ukubukela our Real Madrid mfethu.
Yeah.
Start to look to Real Madrid, hey. Real Madrid has considered how many goals did they concede against English teams last season, but away from home? It's crazy. I think they
Yeah.
conceded an
Dog,
average.
that run was crazy because
It's crazy,
in every
bro.
single one of those games, Real Madrid was only good for the short period of time when they turned those games over
Yeah.
against Chelsea, against City, especially against those two
Yep.
teams. Because in the final against Liverpool, Liverpool actually played extremely poor in that one game. And that's what Italian coaches are good at. Italian coaches are good at disturbing your way of play. Yeah, because that's what they did with Pep in the first leg.
Mm-hmm.
All Pep did in the second leg was he was like, we are going to play fast as hell.
Yeah.
Siyabagijimisa labantu laba.
Yeah.
The pace, and
Make them move, bro.
he kept the fans in the game as well. Because I think you guys needed that more than anything. You needed the fans to carry you, and I've never seen Pep make such an effort to keep the fans in the game, to keep the fans making a noise. Because that was a crazy effort, and I don't blame him for resting the team. I think
And
Arsenal didn't
okay,
see it
yeah. And
because you
okay,
could rest
okay,
those
Donna,
guys.
for me, I think that is the most important point you've made. And I always made that point about City. The difference between us when we go and play at these big teams is that it's so hostile, it's crazy. You know, our fans, these teams
Yeah.
come here and there's this eerie mood. Look, City could bottle it because we're used to it. And Pep has always emphasized the difference between Madrid and Nou Camp and Munich is that
You know,
people make
you
you
know,
feel it. You will
you
make you feel from Liverpool burning your bus outside before
Dog.
you get into the stadium to fans throwing things and yelling crazy stuff and burning flares at the stadium. That if that's what it takes for us to get to that level of winning champions, then we need to do it. And the fans need to play their part. I mean, I know for example, if I have the luck to be in UK, yo, ngiyakutshela,
we,
umholo
we,
wami
we have the
ngiyacela
same
masisalane
complaint.
Ndoda.
We have the same complaint about our teams, and we've talked about this on Turasi too. My team is exactly the same. Stamford Bridge is a library. Yes, Tulela until a goal is scored. That's
Yep,
it.
Yeah.
It is one of
yep,
the worst atmospheres to watch a live game in. Like the
yep,
worst
definitely, bro.
atmospheres. Yathula laphayana, dog.
Yeah. But that's because it's rich people.
Yathula. You don't feel momentum. They don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chelsea is a
yeah,
Yeah,
bougie
yeah.
area.
And
yeah,
tourists.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a bougie
yeah.
area. Kanje
Yeah.
Yeah, it's London, bro. It's London.
Manchester mfethu kusemzambia mfethu, it goes down there. Popo hooligans, yaliwa,
Oh,
especially
man.
if you're playing
But no one
against.
likes Londoners, bro. You really
Yeah,
gotta.
yeah, yeah.
This is
So
snob.
It's like Everton, dog.
yeah,
Like Everton has one of the best crowds.
Yeah.
Their atmosphere is amazing. They just have a shit team, but their atmosphere is amazing. I wish my
Cabanga
team.
thina mfethu. I mean, nothing kills me as much as the fact that we have to play music stadium, like kudlale music,
Sweet
kudlale ingoma
Caroline.
lezi zabo one band. No, dog. Like, I mean, it's a stadium, baba. Mina ngafika la. But have you ever been to watch Dortmund, mfethu? Have you
Yeah,
watched Dortmund at the Signal?
Signal.
yeah, no,
Ate
Dortmund.
ate Jona Park mfethu. Kunabantu abahenge efensini baba la, bahenge efensini bayaphangana mfethu laphana. And
Yeah,
the game hasn't even started mfethu. Everything is burning. Kuyasha. Yonke into iyasha la. Wena sengithi kusho itulo kusho but kuyasha. Everyone is going crazy. The whole stadium is yellow and black. If you're not wearing yellow black, like ngathi bathi awungeni that stadium mfethu.
Yeah.
yeah.
But in other teams and it's always been a problem for me. It
And
took Pep, which I highlight the crowd, and when we outplaying the best team in the history of the competition, we're
can I
outplaying it.
can I offer a very unpopular opinion, and I'm moving away from City, and I'm focusing on the Arsenal, Man United, and Chelsea. Kune striker la basibizwa Ivan Toney. Striker sakhona they've banned him for 8 months. This boy is
I'm gonna
coming back
switch
in
phones.
Jan.
Sorry, I'm gonna switch phones now quickly.
yeah, all
Sure,
right, no
go for
problem.
it. Ivan Toney is only coming back in Jan. Does Arsenal City. Oh, sorry, not City.
Yes.
Man United.
Arsenal, yes. Arsenal, yes. So if the question is, should Arsenal sign him before the ban is over, the answer is yes.
I didn't hear the question.
Iphelela.
Sorry, guys. Please repeat that.
So Usike wants to ask us if anyone should sign Ivan Tony before he's back from his ban. And
We
I
if,
would.
need a
if it's
striker.
Arsenal, yes.
Man United.
Man United, no. I think
Nah.
Man United should aim higher. Man United
Yeah.
should definitely aim higher. I
100%.
think I'm a player abo Wilson, abo Ellie Watkins. Yeah, Arsenal are aiming that. Try to
Yeah.
create lento le abazomgenza because it falls within the budget range. But
Yeah.
United needs to go bigger, bitch. If
But no, I
United
think
wants to make a statement, they have to go bigger.
Dude, you're a City fan, bro, and you are pretty much you have more ambition than majority of our fan base, bro. You've just, you know what I mean, hit the nail on the head. It's
Yeah,
high
I'm
time.
fine.
Like I
Yeah,
was even telling Nosihle and Ngoguti, bro, like we can't just sit back and be satisfied with City beating us all the time. You know what
yeah.
sucks is that I know FA Cup final, I'm gonna get a hiding. That's what sucks. I know it's coming. You know what I mean? Whereas in previous years, when we still had our standards high, I would have said it with my chest, let's go. You know what I mean? But now I can't say that because I'm fearful that it might be another 6-something, 6-4 maybe this time around, just to, improve things on the scoreline. But yeah, bro, it's high time that we start
Yeah,
raising
it
our
needs to
game.
improve. It needs
We
to
start,
improve. You can't
we, yeah, we can't just allow this
you
to
can't
happen.
accentuate ukusayina like you can't ukusayina amaplayer njengabo-Vercost ntoni. Like
Yeah,
that's criminal ntona for any coach, whether because umkhaya wakho yini, but you can't ntona. It makes no footballing sense in any way.
yeah,
It's rather team yakho rather team yakho mfethu isafari engana striker, we promote someone from first division siqhubeke ngayo. Don't sign Vercost ntona. What are you
you
saying?
know,
What are you saying about the club, Donna, and the club's ambitions? Which you want to sign a guy who's a reject from one of the smallest teams in the league. In fact, you sign him and you make him your main number 9. Come
yeah,
on, man.
he's a workhorse.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, that's true. I fully agree with you, man. Like there, I don't know what
So,
was going on when we signed that guy, bro.
I mean,
You know,
definitely. Fitz. The
but it
the guy must. I think he's at that point in his career now where he should be transitioning to a centre back. Over course.
yeah,
I has to retire career at least. I mean,
yeah,
above course should not be guys who are still considered a target man in this day and age. Player like Vekos should not be at a big club like United.
e- exactly. And he's out here
I,
paying
I
you for a
think
contract.
okay. I didn't say anything on the Tony point, ne?
Yeah,
Okay. Personally, I think I would love Ivan at my team. Mina ngamthenga Ivan and pretend he's injured until ilento yakhe i-suspension yakhe iphela. Angithi it's effective immediately.
Yeah.
So he's probably coming back like early next year.
Not early next year. Jan 18.
Jan, ne?
Yeah, Jan 18.
So I'm gonna pretend he's a January signing.
Yeah, it's a new signing.
I'm keeping him in the team.
And imagine, you get him cheap,
Hey,
You get him cheap,
January-
man.
January, yeah.
Man,
Yes, I get him cheap
cheap,
now.
man. Hey, cheap,
Yes.
man.
Ngiyamthenga manje. I go the half of the season with him training in the team, acclimatizing to the team, getting to know the team, building a rapport with the creative players in my team. By the time in January,
yeah,
knockout stages, the Champions League, well, Chelsea is not in any other competition anyway. Knockout stages is the EFL Cup, FA Cup, Nyashisa by then.
Besides, you guys have signed enough players to make a small country, so it's not like you don't have enough players between that, so you can still survive.
yeah.
And I really think,
yeah.
I really
Because
think,
I wanted to ask,
I really think he
between
can
that, right?
survive.
No, you guys can make it, but for me, right? There's 3 English strikers and 3 English strikers that are pretty much the same, right? Maybe not the same, but I think would be around the same market value of like 30 million, 35 million, which is Ollie Watkins, Callum Wilson, and Ivan Toney. So which one would you
Tony's
prefer to
more.
lose your life?
I think Tony's more.
No
Yeah.
way. Tony
Ivan
can't be
Toney,
more.
bro.
Tony scores more penalties. So it doesn't make him more. It actually makes him less.
Yeah, but he hits those G's.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
overall
Yeah,
ability.
yeah,
Overall ability.
like I mean,
Tony
if
is
I already
more
have
on overall
Jorginho in my
ability.
team, if I already have Jorginho in my team, I don't need someone who's gonna come in and take more penalties for me. But I want a goal scorer, right? At the end of the day. So if you want a goal scorer, who do you take? And this is a proper shot because remember, if you remember Callum Wilson, when Callum Wilson's in form, man bangs goals, bro.
He does. He does. He
I
does. Man,
agree.
last week for fantasy, he got me 42 points because I captained him.
Imagine. Imagine.
Yeah. So you are right. He does bang in goals, Callum, and he knows how to finish as well. He really knows how to.
Callum knows how to finish. If that guy
Yeah,
keeps himself fit, Callum makes a shout for a lot of top goal scorers in the league. Callum.
yeah,
If you think about it, Callum stays fit in the season,
I
he
think
makes a big shot, even more goals.
my only issue with
because he's up there.
Callum is where in his career he is in terms of age.
Oh yeah.
In terms of
he's nearing
age,
30.
I think that would be
Yeah.
my pullback as far as he's concerned.
Because
He's a
he's got
bit
18
older.
goals.
Tony, at least he's still, yeah,
Callum, and then
he's
Tony has
a prolific scorer. I just think I just think sometimes even the focuses of teams also matters in terms of the output Yama strike, because the role Tony plays is sort of the same as the one Ulento plays, but Ukalam has more freedom because Ukalam is not asked to be the ball winner to direct
Yeah.
balls like Tony is. So Tony Lynchpin, Hatman, he's also the scorer, set pieces. He does a lot more for Brentford as far as how they go forward. Mbemo does the ball carrying and running and everything. But Tony basically wins aerial balls. He's the one who is. You don't see Callum Wilson going to aerial duels as much as Uland. You understand?
Yeah,
And sometimes they
I'd
use
like to make a
Isak
case here
as
for
a second striker.
no. Then I'd like to make a case for Ollie because Ollie does well in big games. Then, if you want a big game player, then it's Ollie.
He missed the penalty.
Yeah.
What you say?
Oh,
Zero.
Ollie has poise,
penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, but that thing is that penalty would have secured
Ollie
top
has
four
poise.
for us, man.
So me, so that's what I think for me in terms
Hey man, people miss
in terms of
penalties.
all around.
Yeah.
Hey, people miss penalties, but for me, all round ability, Ollie, I think, and Ollie knows how to turn up in a big game. I think.
But do
testament
you
to
know
the
the
fact
weird
when
thing? Do you know the weird thing is that
Yeah.
Aston Villa right now, with the current manager that they have, they see themselves as a team to play for. Because if you think about it, if they continue at the rate that they're on, the trajectory is looking hella good for them right now.
It is. It really is.
yeah, but it's not course about Premier League is all about how you invest. At the end of the day, they need to sign centre backs. Who means is not gonna cut it, done. Tyrone Mings is not gonna cut it. They signed Diego Carlos, and Diego Carlos hasn't played like literally enough games to make a shout. So
You watched sorry, gents, you watched that Brighton boy Ferguson.
yeah, Duncan.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe they're out. Like yeah.
No. Especially Mauricio Ganji, yes.
I think Ferguson. I think Ferguson is one of those that I want him to stay at Brighton as long as possible.
Shouldn't rush.
No,
because what tends to happen with these strikers is that big teams galupapa. I think the same thing about Osimhen. I think if Osimhen moves to another city, the problem is if Osimhen moves, dog, I can almost guarantee his first slump is going to create a whole lot of problems, confidence issues, new league. A striker that comes into, especially the Premier League, with such high expectations, usually they struggle.
How much
Only
would you guys
Haaland,
value him?
80 and above, definitely.
yeah, he's 80.
He's African, so they'll probably make it 80 and above.
Chelsea wants Vlahovic, dog, for 80.
Yeah.
What?
About Vlahovic.
And Vlahovic is
Reality.
not even close to the. You know, Vlahovic is maybe 40 million now. Can't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Juve doesn't
but-
trust the guy.
yeah, but anyway, gents, load shedding is around the corner on my end, so unfortunately,
Yeah, but it's shy. But yo,
Let's
just
see,
a plug,
bye.
gents. There's
Yeah.
under 20 World Cup that's going on right now. Yo. Hey, they've got some nice matches there. Worth the
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
I was watching.
I'm not for pirating things, but yeah, the FIFA under 20 World Cup.
Yeah, I pirate everything. I was watching. I was watching the two Chelsea young men, Casadei and Andre Santos. The future is very bright there.
Siyabonga
Midfielder.
upharetha yonke into Khosi.
Hayi,
Siyabonga
yonke into
ukuthi
after.
upharetha yonke into. Upharetha yonke into out the park.
But anyway, gents, thank you there. Thank you for joining there, guys.
Sure.
Machita.
So, gents.
Wallah.
All right.
Sharp.